Hello, everybody. Today, on this episode of Smooth Move with your dependable partner, we have with us the fabulous Fabiola, who likes to be called Fab, from the club at Boynton Beach. And she's going to tell us all about her community and herself so that if this is the place for you, you can get started. So, Fab, tell us a little bit about how you got into this field. What is your passion that brought you here?
Absolutely. So, senior living is all I know. So, it was my first job. So I worked with Brookdale when I was 16 years old as a server. So I started off at it was called the Classic in West Palm Beach. And when you're a server, you kind of get to know the residents a little bit, what they talk about. And I wanted to be a little more involved in their day to day. So then I became a receptionist. Then from a receptionist, everyone comes tells you everything that's going on in the community. So you get to know the families, you get to know the residents on a deeper level. And one of the main things that the families and the residents always bring up to me was care.
Mhm,
So then I went and got certified. So I became a CNA, worked on
mhm,
the floor with the residents, personalized living with Brookdale. And then with one company, you had to kind of do the personalized care, but also do activities with the residents. And I fell in love with doing activities with the residents. So then I did activities assistant, and then became an activities director. Then I got pregnant with my first child and I had high blood pressure. So I couldn't, walk around and go around with the residents. So my executive director at that time was just like, well, you're very passionate about what you do. Maybe it might be a good thing to welcome new families that are coming in, show them the community, and you have the background and activities, which is very important. And care is also very important. So I started showing families around and I got promoted to sales and I've been in sales ever since. I've been in sales for about 6 years now.
Wow. So you are really, not only do you have a true passion, but you're somebody that really knows every aspect of senior living because you started, at one point and went all the way up. That's really commendable and amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. And one of the greatest things about being part of the sales and admission process, and it helped me in my personal life, because then my grandfather ended up going through Alzheimer's. So then it kind of gave me that education piece, which is very important to families when they're looking, because if they don't know, they don't know.
Right.
And that helped me a lot learning about so many things and assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, the differences to see what would better fit him. And
Mhm.
that helped me go through that as well.
Fab, your passion is very evident and it's not something that can be faked, right?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I've had the experience of having my father and my mother in various stages of nursing home, assisted living, um, deeper assisted living.
Hmm.
The fact that, activities are critical to keep
Right.
everyone active. But the fact that you've been involved in the day-to-day care as a CNA, I can't even tell you how exceptional that is.
Yeah.
To put it in a better way, how fabulous that is. Because how's that for a play on words? But unless you're there day to day giving that care and understanding what the needs are, I,
Right.
I mean, how lucky for somebody to be able to come into your community and have a salesperson. I hate to even use the word salesperson, but because it's much more than that, obviously.
Hmm.
But to have someone in your position that actually knows it firsthand,
Right.
oh wow. I mean, if my parents were alive and they needed a community, I'd be coming to you, Fab.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Because really, and families can tell too. And it's not just about selling your building. You really have to listen to what they're saying and what they're going through because we're all people and it's something that they're actively going through. And they might come off, sometimes they're dealing with their emotions. Everybody deals with it in a different way. So being able to use my personal experience to help them, even if it's not our community, it's somewhere else,
It's
like more like being an advocate.
Yeah, it's comforting. I mean, I'm
Yes.
comforted just hearing you. And I
Right,
mean that very, very honestly, because look, every community has a library. A lot of
right.
communities have a theater. Every community has activities, but the level is very evident, the level of care, because at the end of the day, That's what matters. That
Right.
level of care. And as a family member, knowing I can leave the community and sleep at night, not waiting for a phone call that this happened or that happened, or she's
Right.
not happy, or she didn't eat, or I mean, I've gotten all those calls. It never failed. You know, we used to be afraid to go away because we knew as soon as we got to our destination, whether it was close or far, my mother
Mhm.
would fall and hurt herself. And
Wow.
it never failed. It was
Mhm.
consistent. As soon as we would pull into wherever it was, the phone would ring. Um, so, you know, I think all that is just so critical. But tell us about the community. Tell us a little bit about what makes it a place people should want to be in and the family be
Absolutely.
comforted knowing they're there.
Absolutely. So when I first started, the community opened 2019. So it kind of opened right before COVID. And I came in 2020 or 2021, kind of between that year. So I came in the midst of COVID. So when I came in because I was going to nursing school for a while. So I came in, I'm like, I would just want to focus on the front desk. But of course, slowly but surely, I started talking to families coming in. And I'm like, okay, well, that's my passion. I'm going to go back into, being a sales and marketing director. So when I first toured this community myself, it gave me a different feel. So you go to a lot of communities because I've worked in personalized living, I've worked as activities. So you do get to see a lot of communities and what they're about. But when I first came here, just walking in, it gives you more of a hotel feel. And now that
Yeah,
you're in a community in a sense. You're in a hotel. So even if you need care, you don't have to feel like you're in a nursing home or you're in a community.
that's
S-
funny that you said that. I didn't mean, but that's exactly the way I felt when I walked in. I thought I am in the right place. It feels like a hotel. You are 100% right.
Yeah, exactly. And that feeling is so important because it's just like you're coming in, it smells clean. And then people that are walking in, it was friendly. And I always look for a smile because I'm just like, if people are miserable, then I don't want to be miserable. And I'm really big on energy. So if your energy is not right, then I'm not right. So it's a whole thing. So that was the first initial feel for me. But then I really got more into knowing the difference of our community compared to other communities is when I left in 2023. I left in 2023. I went to another community because I got a great opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So I went and it's a corporate community. And I loved it. The team is great there. But then I realized when you're in a smaller community,
Mhm.
you really get to know the residents. They're just really not a like an apartment number because a larger community, you get busy. It's crazy all the time. You have 100 and something apartments that you have to take care of. So it's really hard to get that personalized feel for it. So kind of being a sales counselor there, it was really just going with the flow. I didn't really get to sit down and really educate the families and really get to know the residents and what's going on in the building. So then my executive director reached out to me that was here and he's like, come back. And I'm like, no, people don't leave and come back. It's weird. And he's like, no, like, listen, we know you love the here. And it was just a great opportunity. So just think about it. So I did, and he gave me another great opportunity to come back. So I came back. But that opened my eyes to really knowing the difference between a corporation, really, like a managed community and a privately owned community. We're privately owned. So when it comes to decisions, when it comes to the activities calendar, we don't have to put certain things on that activity calendar. It's really about the residents that we have coming into the community. What do they like to do? What are the families comfortable with? It's more of a partnership instead of just putting something on the activities calendar and having because multiple buildings are doing it, right?
Right,
It's
right.
people that are not in the building telling you what to put on the calendar. But with here, it's more of an open door policy. Our lifestyle director, if a family's coming in, she does my life story, she could change up that calendar and make it cater to everyone and not just a specific calendar, a standard calendar. I must say, so I think between the activities, between the feel of the community and also having an LNS license, which you could do a little more so residents could age in place, it like
Tell me
contributes
what
all to the
LNS
Yeah,
mean.
community.
what is it?
What does LNS mean?
So it means limited nursing services. So you have communities that have a standard license where they don't have to have nurses in the building 24/7. And that can get a little difficult because if something's going on at 11 o'clock at night, if you don't have a nurse, no one's really able to assess the
Sure.
resident and really figure out what's going on. It's an automatic send to the hospital.
I would say
You
that's
have
a critical piece.
Yes,
Very.
it
Maybe
is.
the most important thing you've said so far, other than
Yes.
Yeah.
fabulous.
For sure. Many times people end up in the hospital for something really minor.
Right.
And then it's disruptive and disorienting and it's scary and all of those things. So this is amazing.
That's big. That's like the big golden nugget takeaway of this.
Yes, 24/7, all day, every day, there is a nurse in the building. And if it comes to a point where, with some communities, if it comes to a point where you have so many falls, then you have to leave the community. The move is hard already. If you're moving anywhere, it's hard, but you're moving into a different lifestyle, it's very difficult than having to go through that process all over again just because mom or dad is having so many falls. So they're able to age in place. We could bring hospice in the community, Trust Bridge, we could bring palliative care. So a lot of the third party vendors we could bring into the building. So that way our residents don't have to leave. The only time a resident we may have to leave, of course, because of safety precaution, if they need like a trach, then that's more skilled nursing, that's more hospital
Higher
setting.
medical.
Higher medical,
Do
correct.
you have memory care there as well, or what levels are you able to accommodate?
We have assisted living and we also have memory care. So if when residents come in or prospects come in to actually tour the community, they see a mixture. So you have residents that are fairly independent that just doesn't want to start off in independent living because then in an independent living, if you need a little care, you have to move to
Right,
a different part of the building.
right.
And they don't want to have to do that either. So you'll see residents now start wanting to come into assisted living as long as they feel like they could get that independence that they still have, then they'll start off there. So we have residents in assisted living that are fairly independent, and you have residents cognitively, they're all there, but physically they need a little more help. So you have residents that are using walkers or residents that are on wheelchairs. And then it goes into memory care, which is on our second floor, which is more of a secured floor. So that way residents that are in assisted living, if cognitively it's not safe for them to be in assisted living, they need more of a secured environment, but they could still get all the amenities that they were getting in assisted living. We mirror our memory care activities to our assisted living activities. So that way they're not excluded from everything that they're used to. They could still have the same lifestyle, but additional care.
That is really fantastic. So even though it might be a little bit of a disruption because they have to move to a different floor,
Mm-hmm.
still getting a lot of continuity with everything else that you're doing.
Correct, correct. And families that are coming in, if they're not quite ready yet for that memory care feel, we kind of created our third floor to mirror floor of our memory care floor to start off in more like a higher level floor on our third floor. So that way they're getting more of the care that they need. And then it's a mirror example of memory care. So that way when they go into memory care, they're not getting like, oh, this is a different floor. It looks so different. They're getting the same floor aspect.
I love how everything is just so consistent because that way they don't feel disrupted.
Correct.
And it's an easier for them in all the different ways, emotionally and mentally.
Correct.
Well,
It's
it's one
fantastic.
of the things, Fab, that we really pride ourselves on. Joelle and I, as senior move managers,
Mm-hmm.
we pride ourselves on the fact that when we unpack the person, okay, moving into the community, we're hanging the pictures, we're making the bed, we're filling the drawers. So they go to bed in feeling like they are in a more familiar surrounding with the pictures up and
Mm-hmm.
everything that we've brought, not just unpacking like a mover might going, good luck, see ya.
Mm-hmm.
That's the level of care we bring at your dependable partner, making sure that when they move into your community or any community, that there's nothing to do the next morning but go have breakfast.
Right.
And that just makes a huge difference. A huge difference. Because a
Yeah.
lot of movers, that's what they do. They just move and then they leave. but
Right,
doing something that they're familiar with, because everything is about routine too.
Correct.
If they're familiar with this is their routine, then they're coming in, their apartment's not ready, it just messes everything up.
It's a
right.
mess for them, a mess for you, a mess for the family.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one of the many things we do that's a little bit different.
We try to make their new apartment as similar to where the home they came from as possible,
Mm-hmm.
so they have that comfort level. So if they have, let's say, photos on a wall, we'll take a picture of that and try to mirror that when we get to their new apartment. So they have some
Amazing.
level of, well, this feels like home.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, Fab, tell me, I'm sure you have many of them, but tell me a success story that you have. People love hearing those.
So, I have this one family, they're actually here now. So one family, I believe, toured maybe about
That's a lot.
10 to 15 different
That's a
places.
lot.
When I first heard that, I'm like, wow. So because she toured so many places, you hear the same things over again, just like you guys were saying earlier. There's always a movie theater, there's always all the amenities, but you really have to find out what's important to that particular family. And she is a wife. So one of the things it's kind of like letting go. It's
Sure.
very hard for her. So the process, you know how like, okay, you tour, you pick an apartment, you go through that process, but it really wasn't like that. It was tour and really holding her hand through the process because again, that letting go part is not just, okay, move him in, that you need this. It's more of when you're ready. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm here whenever you're ready. I'm gonna go with your pace. I'm gonna follow your lead in this because you're the one that's actively going through it. You let me know how I can be a resource and how I can help you. So if right now it's more important for you to have somebody come in at home because you're not ready for him to go into the community, then that's what we'll do. We'll partner together, we'll find somebody to come help you at home. And that's what she wanted to do. So she started off with that, but slowly but surely she ended up, it was just like, okay, this is not it because she's actively seeing everything and people are coming into her home, which she didn't want. So she wanted to still have her independence lifestyle, but making sure that he's getting the care that he needs and he's also getting the socialization. So
Right.
my next step was, why don't you bring him into an activity that's here and you can, just watch and observe how he interacts with other residents. And that's what she did. So she brought him to an activity. Then she brought, because activity was important. So you got that socialization right there. Then meals was important. Have lunch, have dinner with him. Those are all things that you can continue to do with him. So you're not letting him go.
Right.
He's just here to get the care and the services that he needs, and you can get to be that wife again. So really educating her with that piece and just going through the process, which maybe took maybe about 2 months or so, she ended up moving in. And what was really important with her was my patience with her. Because she's like a lot of places, it's very salesy. So they
Right.
just want you to come in, look at an part very quick. And I'm like, I'm not like that at all. I'm gonna go based on your pace and really educate you and know what's important to you. So now she wants to do a testimonial for us because of how much she comes every day. We have cookouts, barbecues twice a month. So
Mhm.
she comes to the barbecues, she brings her grandkids over, and he is so happy and thriving in the community. So she's open to now doing a testimonial, which we can put now on our website. So that's one of the it just happened. So that's why it just brought into my
It's
mind
a
like that was
it's a beautiful
amazing.
story. And what I love about that is that you're so collaborative, not just with potential people moving in, but you're
Hmm.
collaborative with the families. And you also said something earlier about how, if this isn't the place for them, you'll find them, you can help them. Like you guys all coordinate with one another, that if this is
Right.
the right place for them, even though your job is to make a sale, you don't want to have somebody in your community where it's not a good fit and then they have to move because your
Exactly.
heart is where what is best for the client. So it's wonderful that you all collaborate together. And I love that you said, okay, let's get some help in and I'll help you find somebody and see if that's the path you want to go. And then she found out that doesn't work for me. I don't like it. Let's get him into your community. Really
Right.
just really highlights your care and compassion and concern for others and just putting them first. Really amazing.
Yeah, and it's gonna pay off in the long run. You just never know. When you do right, it comes back. It might not come back today, tomorrow,
Yep,
might come back next year, but you're gonna get something out of it. So you just gotta be patient with it. That's all.
100%. I love it.
Fab, you are fabulous.
Right?
You really, really are. You have just such a way. I think the community is lucky to have you. And I
Oh,
think the people that interact with you are lucky to have you. And I mean that very sincerely because before our podcast, I didn't know you at all, really. Okay. And I feel like I know you. You have that way with you. And it's so nice that folks that are coming to the community can benefit from that because that's what families need. Families don't need a brochure. Families need a hand, and they need someone they can know has their best interest at heart. And you clearly do.
oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Can you tell everybody how to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So I always carry around my phones because I'm always walking around. So the best way to reach me is on my cell. Should I give the number or?
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead and give the
okay.
number, please.
So my cell is 561 662 3642. I'm surprised I remembered it. Or my email address, which is a mouthful, but it's my initial F, Valcin, my last name. So V is in Victor, AL. C as in cat, IN as in Nancy, at the club at boyntonbeach.com. So you can reach me there.
Okay, is there anything else you want to add?
I'm so thankful. Thank you guys so much
We're
for
we're thankful for you.
I appreciate this. This is so nice. So thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
If
Thank
Well,
there's
you.
we look
anybody,
forward to continue working with you, Fab.
yeah,
So
for sure. And
Absolutely.
if there's anybody else at your facility that you'd like us to highlight in a podcast, we would love to do that too.
Yes, and let me know if you guys need anything. So I just want to bring up too, we do vendor Wednesdays. We just thought of this because it could get a little crazy.
Uh-huh.
Because we're all busy, right? So when a
Right.
professional comes in, sometimes we may have 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and it kind of feels a little rushed. So the vendor Wednesday is just creating time, all department heads creating time to actually sit down and get to know what other professionals are bringing in, getting to know their services and what they're about and how we can partner and help. Instead of going through like that 5 minutes and then you have to move on to the next, you get each department head in that space to be able to come in and just tell us about your services, the executive director, nurses, to get everyone on the same page. So it's every Wednesday. So if you guys are ever open to that, just let me know.
Yes.
what
Yes,
do you
please.
know?
What is it?
What do you know?
Well, let me know which Wednesday. Send me an email which Wednesday that you guys would like to come so I can
Okay,
put the
sounds
calendar.
fantastic. All right,
All right.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you.
Joelle, you want to give out our information?
Yes, absolutely. We are, of course, your dependable partner. You could reach us at 561-247-4267, or you could reach me at joelle@yourdependablepartner.com or brian@yourdependablepartner.com.
And right behind you is our website full of great resources like this podcast. All right. We'll be back next week, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.